think we should go over like who we are since this is our very first episode. Um, most most likely, no one's gonna know who we are unless somehow the people from my personal YouTube channel is here. Then shout out to you guys. I do have a YouTube channel where I cover music related content. As you can see, I have music stuff everywhere. I have a record player, records over here. I talk about music all the time. I react to uh, albums and songs. I do videos about vinyl records, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, I'll put my links down below. But yeah, uh, music is not my only passion. I do love basketball. We both love basketball a lot. That's kind of how we became friends. We became friends in middle school, right? We were
Yep.
in a basketball clinic. I think that's the very first time we met. Is that right, or some other time?
I think that we met by first playing some pickup basketball during lunch slash recess.
Uh huh.
Actually, when we joined the basketball clinic, that's when we got a lot closer because I think it was like only 5 people in the clinic. So, you kind of have to interact with the few people that were there. So I think that was when eventually got like cl as close as we could have been or starting our true friendship, shall we
Yeah,
say.
I think that was the start, but I think we became like closer, like best friends in like high school. Like I think my junior year, your sophomore
Definitely.
year, sometime like that.
Yeah, it was I believe you're right. Your junior year and my sophomore year.
And we became friends from not only loving basketball but being huge Lakers fans. As you can tell, we both got our Lakers hats today. Uh, yeah, I've been a Lakers fan all my life. My grandpa was a huge Lakers fan, so that's why I'm a huge Lakers fan. Is there a reason why you're like a diehard Lakers fan instead of a Clippers fan?
Yeah, so the first NBA game I watched was actually the Lakers versus the Houston Rockets game 5 of the 2009 NBA playoffs. Um and we destroyed the Rockets in game 5, I remember. But what really caught my interest in basketball and the Lakers, mostly because I really loved the speed of the game, and it was very fun and entertaining to watch. And on top of that, like seeing how good the of team ball the Lakers played, like back then with Kobe, Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher, Lamar Odom,
I love
Andrew
that team.
Bynum, and those guys. That was a really fun team to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw just how good that team was. I'm like, man, it would be my dream if I could play in the NBA one day. And though that clearly didn't happen, I still love to hoop, and I also love to watch basketball. And a true blessing of mine is that my first 2 years as a Lakers fan, I was able to witness the back-to-back championships.
Yeah,
And starting with the championship against Orlando in 2009, that one was really good because coming off the tough loss in '08 against the Celtics, which I did not witness because I hadn't watched basketball yet, and probably for the better good because we lost pretty badly in that one. But the way seeing how the Lakers came back with a vengeance, especially from Kobe's killer mentality, was very inspirational because stuff like that, being able to come back with a vengeance is super good and relatable even outside of like sports, like in real life. You do bad in on one exam, or you're like you have one bad day at work, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can bounce back the next day and things will for sure get better. So that one was very cool to watch. But even better was in 2010 when we got our redemption for 2008 against the very same team, the Boston Celtics. And obviously, like the Lakers had to face a lot of adversity that series,
mm-hmm.
being down 3-2 after losing a tough two straight tough games in Boston. and they had to win two straight, do or die. Lakers did just that. And game seven especially was great story of making sure not to quit until the very end because like Kobe had a pretty poor shooting performance that game. And the Lakers really did not do very good until like the mid third quarter as they went down by like 13 points from what I recall. So then unlikely comebacks and the unlikely superhero in that game in Ron Artest, aka
Yeah,
Meta
Meta
World
World
Peace,
Peace.
really helped fulfill the Lakers' comeback dreams in getting the revenge from 2010. And though Kobe did not have a good shooting performance, he excelled in other aspects of the game.
Yeah, didn't
Like
he get like a crazy
from what
amount of
I recall,
rebounds
he did.
for
From
a
what I
shooting
recall,
guard?
he was really good. Yeah, definitely. From what I recall, he was doing like pretty good on the rebounding, and I'm pretty sure he also played some good defense too. Uh, That was definitely a heart of a champion, and I'm glad I was able to witness the last championships of Kobe's career at least, because I was too young to witness the first
Mm-hmm.
three.
Same.
Um, and then eventually, there was a lot of dark years for the Lakers in those rebuild seasons. But then after that, 2018, LeBron James comes to the Lakers and gave us hope once again. And though the first season wasn't good, um, after we were able to trade for Anthony Davis, we won the championship in the 2019-2020 season, which was also really fun. And obviously, since then, the Lakers have had a few tough seasons. But last year, we had a pretty good turnaround going from 2-10 to the conference finals. So I have hope that we can win one this year, hopefully, as long as we can stay healthy and we have good chemistry.
I hope so. There's two things I want to mention really quickly. First of all, uh, a big reason why I wanted to do this podcast with you is because I know how your memory works when it comes to basketball. You are like very detailed. You know a lot about what's happened in the past, and you just have a great memory, which I I'm not like that. I forget a lot of things, and you go into great detail. So I think uh, this podcast would only work if we work together like this. Yeah, so uh, yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention. And another thing I do want to mention how like my very first memories of being a Lakers fan was during the 2010s finals. You mentioned the 2009s. Mine was the 2010s, more specifically Game 7. I remember sitting in my living room in Game 7 watching the game. Uh, I remember my mom was like freaking out about foul calls and stuff. And I was like in the inside. I wouldn't say it out loud since immigrant mother. Uh, she if I said what I wanted to say, she wouldn't be too happy. But I remember like in my head, I was like, "Can you be quiet, please? I'm trying to watch the game." But yeah, as soon as the Lakers won that game, I remember my grandpa calling from Guatemala. That's where he's from, and we just celebrated together through the phone. So we kind of had like a similar, I guess, introduction to basketball and the Lakers by watching those awesome Kobe teams going at it and winning chips. But yeah, so we're both huge basketball fans, both huge Lakers fans. We're gonna make sure we're not too biased, but we're obviously gonna be too. We're gonna be a little biased. Not gonna lie, but yeah, we met in middle school. We went to the same high school. We also went to the same community college and university. I got an associate's degree in mathematics when I was at community college, and in university, I switched majors a bit and I ended up getting my bachelor's in child adolescent development this past spring. Um, you did not go to the same directions I did. Obviously, like we both decided on different career paths. So, what were your majors? Just so the people know.
Yes. Yeah, so while at the university, I majored in graphic design and I also minored in marketing. Um, Currently, I am working in the realm of marketing and sales. Actually, in China right now for a business trip at the moment. If you guys can tell, by this hotel setting in the background, um, I pretty much within the last year, I've pretty much been like switching a few jobs as a recent graduate. It's it's kind of a transition trying to find a good fit after firstly graduating. So I switched a job in between and right now, um, it seems like things are starting to um transition in the right direction. So hopefully this will be the job of right fit and I can finally be able to rest a little bit more knowing that I have a job that's stable.
Yeah, I was definitely not in your same position because uh, Hoops did graduate a year before I did, so my job search wasn't as long. But yeah, currently I'm in the field of education. I've been working in the education for a while, but I just started a new job this year, and hopefully I can keep going to school and progressing, so I could get better jobs. But yeah, I'm not in China right now. We don't have the same job. He's in China. I'm currently in California. That's we're both from SoCal, and yeah, it's kind of this this whole thing happened like out of nowhere. You kind of got the job like 3 4 weeks ago, right?
About to be 4 weeks, yeah. Kind of out of nowhere, honestly. Things didn't really come as expected per se. Had done the job 2 weeks in the US, and then my boss already had me going abroad for a business trip. I've been in China for 1 week so far, and going to be here for just under a month remaining. So it's definitely a good stay, but I think that it's a good learning experience because I haven't really gone far from home much, like without my parents. In general, like in fact, I really haven't even gone out of the country alone without my parents. So this is definitely a first, and I think it's definitely a good learning experience both for work and trying to gain extra independence. So it should be a fun ride.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, what was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So yeah, again, this happened like out of nowhere. We've been planning to do this podcast for a while. The first like thoughts about having a podcast happened when we were both at community college. We even tried to make a YouTube channel. We filmed something. We filmed a few videos, but never really launched it. And because of school and work, it's kind of hard to do that. But since we're both currently not doing school, we're just working, we thought to give it a shot and start this podcast. And this podcast, the purpose of this podcast, you might be wondering. Um, so basically, it's this podcast is called the Above the Rim Podcast. No, that's wrong, isn't it? Uh, what is it? Oh, the Above the Rim Rundown. That's the name of the podcast because we are gonna run down all things NBA every week. We're gonna be talking about the standings, uh, the players that have been basically exploding, who've been killing it, who have not been killing it, certain story headlines, uh, certain news that revolves around NBA. I think I already said standings, but standings, just giving everybody a weekly update on what's going on in the NBA. Uh, and we're gonna shoot for like an hour 30 each episode. I don't like super long podcasts. Like 3 hour podcasts I feel like is insane. That's basically like a college lecture at that point. But
Yeah.
yeah, the goal every week is just to talk about the NBA from the past week. The NBA is starting soon. I believe this Tuesday for me. We are currently recording for I guess my what is it time? Uh, what is it?
It just struck midnight, I see.
Yeah, it for me it is midnight. It is
So it's
October.
practically
It
it's practically Sunday for both of us now.
Yeah, it's October 22nd for me, midnight. Like it's 12:01 a.m. for me. Uh, what's the date and time for you right now?
It is 3:01 p.m. also on Sunday here for me in China.
Yeah, so the the
15
seasons of
hour difference.
yeah, there's a 15-hour
Kind of crazy.
difference. It's insane. It was hard scheduling this, but I'm glad we're
It was.
finally
Yeah,
getting
I'm
it
glad we're
done.
able to finally do it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the so again, for both of us, it's October 22nd. The season starts on Tuesday, which is the 23rd? No, 24th, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's coming up very
24th.
soon, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about by next week. I'm hoping to make this podcast go up every Monday. That's the goal. Upload a, an episode every Monday, and it's not just like a video podcast on YouTube. I'm trying to make it like a thing. You know, I'm trying to make it on upload these audio podcasts on Spotify, Apple, probably other um, platforms you could listen to podcasts. We have different social medias that we're gonna start making content for, like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. So all of that stuff is gonna be linked down below if you want to check them out. But yeah, that's basically the goal of the podcast. And occasionally we're gonna do like some fun episodes, like our top 10 favorite Lakers of all time, or I don't know, like what's a good fun example? What's an episode you would like to do in the future if we have the time?
Let's see. We could do the greatest players for maybe like the top 10 players per position of all time. Like we're gonna do a top 10 point guards, top 10 shooting guards, top 10 small forwards, top 10 power forwards, top 10 centers.
That's a
We
good
can
one.
even do something we can even do something like greatest six men in NBA history,
Ooh.
and potentially maybe actually maybe we can even say like necessarily different players, but we could even say like for example 2018 Lou Williams, 2019 Lou Williams, or like 2013 Jamal Crawford, 2015 Jamal Crawford, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that could potentially be like an option there. And then other stuff I'm sure we'll think of as we come along the journey.
Yeah, we could also make TikToks revolving around more fun topics like that as well as we continue. But yeah, everything will be linked down below. Our socials, my socials. I don't know if you want to put your socials in the description, but we could talk about that later. I'm down to put it if you want it. But I think that's it for just introducing ourselves and introducing our podcast.